Hello, illegal use of hands, hints to the face, loyal patrons. Today, I'm just going to go through a quick Week 18 rundown of today's games and who I'm picking. So, first game up, Washington at New York Giants. There's not much to play for in this matchup, but I'm going with the Washington football team, and I'm locking them up this week. Cincinnati at Cleveland. This is an interesting matchup that I thought was going to mean a lot last week, but obviously with how both teams kind of did the opposite of what I thought they were going to do, that changed a lot. Cincinnati, though, has been on fire recently. It doesn't look like they'll play all their guys, so that's going to make this one a little tough to pick, but I'm still going with Cincinnati in the upset over Cleveland just because I feel like they're going to be a little disgruntled about how their season came to an end. Pittsburgh at Baltimore. Obviously, even though there's little to no chance this game actually has meaning in terms of the playoffs, it's Pittsburgh versus Baltimore, so it's a good matchup. And I would be excited to watch this game. Maybe tune into it during the 1 o'clock window. I'm not really sure what game I'll be catching yet. But with that being said, I'm taking Baltimore. Green Bay at Detroit. Green Bay's big favorites. They've still got a little bit to seal up, so I think they're going to handle Detroit. Indianapolis against Jacksonville. I would say that I want Jacksonville to win this game because the playoff scenario has become much more interesting if Jacksonville wins. But Indianapolis has been playing great recently. Only falling to the Raiders recently doesn't seem like it'll hurt them too much. They've still been playing really well, and that was a close game. I imagine they're not feeling too bad about that, and they'll beat Jacksonville. Chicago versus Minnesota. This game, Minnesota already beat Chicago once, and Chicago really, besides getting in the end zone, in terms of total yardage and things like that, outplayed them the first time. So with that being said, I think that Chicago can actually upset Minnesota here. This game doesn't have any meaning either, but maybe it'll try to leave Matt Nagy on a high note before he probably gets fired from the Chicago Bears. Tennessee versus Houston. I want this. This is another game that could have interesting playoff implications if it goes against the grain, but I don't think it's gonna. And I'm going with Tennessee here to keep winning, and probably end up being the 1 seed in the AFC, which is just wild to say considering how the season has gone. New Orleans at Atlanta. I see. I understand why New Orleans is favored in this, but Atlanta won the first game, and this matchup means a little more to each of these teams, I think, than other matchups, especially considering the fact that Atlanta can keep New Orleans out of the playoffs. New Orleans is a team with a lot of highs and lows at different points in the season. You never can be sure which team is going to show up. You know what? I want it to happen, so basically I'm going with Atlanta. I can see it happening, but even more so I'm picking them because I want it to happen. I'm going to pick Atlanta as an upset here. Seattle at Arizona. This has some interesting things coming, considering I have no idea how strange Seattle's offseason is going to be. I think it'll be pretty weird, though. But I don't think that's going to be enough motivation for them to play extremely well in Arizona. Arizona's still got a few things to tie up, and I think Arizona will win this game. New York Jets at Buffalo. Buffalo by a mile, honestly. Carolina at Tampa Bay. Same thing. Tampa Bay by a mile still. New England at Miami. This one could still be close and be kept interesting just because, Miami always likes to put up a good fight against New England. But I think New England should be able to pull this one out, so I'm picking New England. And then final two games, San Francisco versus the Los Angeles Rams. I don't think San Francisco is going to be able to pull this one off, even though I want them to, because it guarantees them that last playoff spot, which is kind of up in the air right now with what happens between New Orleans and Atlanta. But I am going with the Rams there. And then for the last game, the Sunday night game, which will determine who makes the playoffs between the Chargers and the Raiders. I can't do it. I said that the Chargers would make the playoffs all offseason, and I said the Raiders wouldn't. So I really have to pick the Chargers at this point in time. And you know what? It's going to be an exciting game either way. Also, in terms of picking, it's always better to go with a quarterback that you like more, like Justin Herbert, just a little bit more than Derek Carr, even though I think he's probably played even better this season than I thought he would. So Justin Herbert, a little bit above Derek Carr. Give the Chargers the nod, but excited for that game. And I hope Week 18 is a great slate of football before the playoffs.